Welcome to another episode of Crowley House Flower Farm. Today I just wanted to take you through a little bit of what we did over the year of 2020. There was a lot that happened despite the COVID-19 that everybody talks about. Real positive things on the farm, some really and some not so positive things, and I just thought I would just kind of go through and share a little bit about the pros and cons of flower farming.
The new year started just like any other. We were excited for 2020 to start. So many plans, including the roses, and they arrived just in time.
And you thought I didn't buy you anything for Valentine's Day.
Yes, it was one of the best gifts of the year. We were excited to get stuff in the ground and planted, and we worked hard. From anemones to ranunculus, tulips to narcissus, it was a full schedule. We started seeing blooms in March, cutting the anemones. Beautiful! I love them. They are one of the first that go on the farm. The weddings went off without a hitch. It was beautiful. It was spring. So today, I thought I would sit down and talk to you with my husband Jason about the ups and downs of our year 2020, which was not exactly what we had originally planned back in January.
Back in January, we got a couple new pigs. We want to give them a shot instead of sheep.
Yeah, we also got a few more ducks, and we got some baby chicks, which was kind of fun.
And we did turkeys.
Oh, we had some
2 new
turkeys.
turkeys.
Yep, we actually hatched. We did a little project over spring where my son and my husband decided to get a little brooder and hatch a few items. It was more than a few. We were pretty successful, I think.
Yeah, I think about a dozen chickens and 2 turkeys.
Yeah. So we also did some meat chickens, which was new for us here on the farm, along with the pigs. It was a busy time of the year. Our ranunculus started blooming, and it was a beautiful show for sure. It's one of my favorite flowers. We cut many of our spring blooms off to wholesale.
It took the whole family to make it work.
It sure did. We did have our first class on the farm, which I was super excited about. My friend Bethany from Charles Little and Company came and helped me teach a cutting garden class. It was a beautiful day that we all enjoyed, some good time about growing flowers, gardening, and getting a good start to the season. Right after the class, we got the word that COVID had hit, and so we had to completely reinvent our farm. That was a little bit of a hectic time. Our wholesalers closed down, and a lot of our avenues and channels to get flowers out did as well. As we reworked the farm and rethought about what we were doing, we had the pigs on the farm to keep us entertained. They were quite cute, for sure, and we enjoyed watching them, and they brought us a lot of joy. They even helped us with our tilling and out in our new pasture where we were putting all those roses.
Here we are getting the soil ready for the roses. So we're peeling off the grass, and then we'll till it all up.
Life went on. We had trellising the sweet peas, and I always love it when my husband comes and helps me do this because I am not very good at it at all. We kept harvesting our anemones and ranunculus, and we found some grocery chains to take some wrap bouquets. Our wholesalers opened slowly, and then we decided to open our little farm stand, and that was one of the most biggest blessings we could ever have for our farm. It was a time of great rejuvenation. It was a little bit of one of those things where we didn't know quite what the rules were. The rules changed every single day, and we were trying as a small business just to make it all work. We opened up the little farm stand, or what I call the studio, where we do most of our wedding design and floral design and prepping and slushing flowers through buckets and that kind of thing. And we made it really cute. We added a little honey, we added a little dried flowers, we added just little pops of just spring everywhere, and it was such a beautiful time. People came and they were respectful. We had hand sanitizer out. We had one shopper at a time. It was a totally unmanned, beautiful space that people could get a little piece of joy and take it home to the home and table and just experience the farm.
Yeah, with so much uncertainty and not knowing, how this virus spread, people were in a bit of a panic, and they needed a place to go, so they came to the farm. And we had one lady that she brought her kids, and we just left them alone, and they spent like 2 hours on the farm, had a picnic. They were all dressed in their Easter clothes, but we just provided a place for the people to be able to get out and feel safe.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting time with everything going on, and just having a farm that provided that safe place that people could get out of their little homes that, some of them, you thought about it, they just looked out at a back fence kind of thing, and they had these small little yards that
Or apartments.
Yeah, or apartments, and they just needed a place to go. We had so many people come from California, Washington, all over Oregon. They just took these little country drives and came out to our farm, and it was such a blessing. It was a really cool time. Can we just take a moment and talk about this silver brunia? Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. The roses started to bloom, and it was May, and we had so much going on the farm.
And I was laid off.
Yes, my husband was laid off, which was super great because he helped with the harvest and with any of the projects. We had so many projects to get done on the farm. But the peonies kept coming, and boy, did that bring a lot of delight to a lot of folks. People just really, really liked that at the farm stand. The sweet peas started to bloom, and they were just amazing. The farm stand was just cranking. We could not believe how many people came.
Yeah, we had to work out parking so people would maintain their 6 feet distance.
It was, all these things that a small farm, you would never think that we would have to go through something like that. It was pretty incredible.
We had to set up tents and umbrellas so people could stand at different stations. So, we wasn't like a ton of people, but if you had 5 or 6 different groups, then that's too many.
Yeah, and so we just created these different diversions. Like we had the rabbits, and we had the chicks, and the different things that people, while they were waiting to get their flowers, they could go do before they came in. It was June, and the roses were in full swing. Even the new field in the back was producing quite a few blooms. We still had a lot of weddings, even though they had kind of changed. That was another thing that was kind of hard, was just negotiating and coming up with creative ways to continue our weddings. Some people canceled, some people rescheduled, and some people just did simple elopements. And this year, which is 2021, we are actually doing a full-scale wedding for them. Roses are always a big part of our weddings, and we grow a lot of them here on our farm. So this year we got the pleasure of being in the Slow Flowers
There's
Journal.
the new book that you're in.
Yes, by Deborah Prenzing. It was quite fun to do that project with her. If you're not a member of Slow Flowers, I suggest that you join. I will put a link below. Okay, so let's talk about roses again. Really, we have Honey Dijons, Crown Princess Margaret, Distant Drums, Coco Locos, St. Paul, something whites, and the list. Pope John Paul, my husband should know all of these. He's the one that planted most of them. He's amazing. But they fill my heart like you wouldn't believe. But really, look at that for just a moment.
Those Coco Locos?
Yeah, see, he's learning. Ha ha ha! I love this. Okay, there's a cow.
How now, brown cow?
How now, brown cow? This is our other field, so it is summer. And we are popping with our summer field. So this is not on our farm, but we farm another 5 acres just down the road from us, and it's been a big learning curve. This was another thing that I struggled a little bit with, and I know in time I will get the hang of it. It's got the most amazing views and unlimited water and beautiful soil, but figuring out my farm and then this extra 5 acres on top of it was a little bit of a challenge this year. This farm has 3 high tunnels and also has like a propagation house on it, which is really, really cool. I did hire a few people. This was the time of year that we get into some heavy crunch times, and it ended up that there was a lot of people that were laid off from different jobs, and my daughter as well, so it worked out perfectly. Then things got really, really bad. Fires broke out here in the Pacific Northwest. This is early, early morning. I am up at my normal time that I would be cutting, probably around,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock in the morning. And usually the sun is up and it's full bright, but this was eerie and dark. And it was really kind of almost out of this world type of experience we had here.
Yeah, I remember waking up that morning. It was super eerie. It was dark outside, and we had to, when we went and checked the news feeds, we heard that the fire, even though we weren't in any media danger, we're good.
We were pretty close to that.
Well, we're 20 some miles away from the fire, but it was just the smoke and everything that was affecting us pretty heavily.
Yeah, and I think that there was just this weird feeling that morning out.
It was eerie calm.
Yeah, it was so strange.
So here we have a little bit of video of Beth cutting in the kind of bad weather, but I mean, everything just turned orange, bright orange, and it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of weird. And you can see there where the head of the smoke was, and it just got worse and worse.
I remember that night, it was just so windy. I mean, we just had dust on top of the fires, and we had like ash just raining down, but we also had, because we live on a dirt road around dirt fields, and we just had plumes of dust storms that would come through. It was crazy. It was a time that was scary for all Oregonians, and actually there was fires in Washington and California all at the same time that was literally burning up towns, and people were losing their homes and places.
It was the largest recorded acres burned in one season in Oregon.
You didn't think things could get worse with COVID, but the fires actually damaged a lot of our crops. We had heavy loads of ash. We had, just damaged flowers from the high winds. It was just, I thought we were just going to mow down the whole field of dahlias. I don't know how many we have, but I think there was about 1,000 dahlias out there that I would just have mowed down. Our working conditions were awful as well, just the heavy smoke, and we had a few weddings to do during this time that people just were like, heck with it. Just, it was just a moment of laugh and get through it and can't believe this. But this was a wedding that my daughter Riley and I did together in the heavy smoke. We were only a couple miles away from the smoke zone, or the fire zone, I guess. Despite that, it was a beautiful, beautiful time, and it was a much needed breakaway from the situation. The fires were in September, and despite everything, we worked hard. We cut back, we deadheaded, we overhead irrigated, which we never do, and we bounced back, which was amazing. I didn't think we would, but the flowers came back. We had a heavy rain that washed a lot of the soot and ash away, and things started to look a little brighter. I knew it, fall had arrived. It was October, and we were still in full swing, from the golden fern, which is one of my favorites to harvest here in the Pacific Northwest, to our mum crop, which was amazing. And Lysianthus, we still had some beautiful, beautiful sunflowers that we were harvesting and selling off, both to our wholesalers and to our regular farm stand. The dahlias were still going strong. I love this cute little guy. He is just the sweetest ever. Riley was my sidekick most of this year, which I was so thankful that she was still laid off and was able to just to be by my side. It was just great. We still had some weddings at some of the vineyards, folks that had flown in from out of town. We do a lot of those type of weddings at these beautiful vineyards, and we just were able to pull off these gorgeous designs still, and things kind of loosened up a little bit, you know. We started to see more weddings pick up, which we had scheduled on the books that stayed on the books, which was a little nerve-wracking to have, you know, so many cancel or just reschedule. I love this wedding with all the fall foliage and the beautiful colors, just very elegant, I think. So going forward this year, it taught me a lot about basically being flexible, being fluid with being a flower farmer. It wasn't easy, but it also, you kind of had to eventually just laugh, don't you think, Jay? I mean, it was just one of those things where you just like put your hands up and go, okay, bring it on. What's next, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was a year to definitely put down the record books, but it was a beautiful, beautiful year in the end, and I was thankful that we had so many people come alongside us and support us, not only on our farm stand, but also in our wholesale businesses that we sell to. We had florists that came just from far and wide that just wanted our blooms. They wanted local blooms, which was really, really cool. And I have to say that my heart at the end of the day was full and beautiful, and I moved right into Christmas with that spirit of Thanksgiving, and we started into our wreaths. It was full-time holiday mode for us. We were cranking out wreaths as fast as we could go. It was a beautiful time. We sell wreaths all over the United States with and partner with Schreiners Iris Gardens, which I will put a link below if you haven't checked them out before. They have amazing, beautiful irises, which we grow as well here on the farm. At the end of the season, Riley and I were full of smiles, and we were just so thankful that so many people supported us and we could go out just being thankful and with a smile. Thanks for joining me on our 2020 year in review, and I do hope that you will tag along with us this next coming year.